Conspiraciones y narrativas reinan este mundo tecnológico. Todos tienen una opinión de lo que es la verdad y lo que es mentira. ¿Quién controla el mundo? ¿Los aliens son real? ¿Vivimos en un Matrix? Estas preguntas serán debatidas con José y Daniel G, explorando y descubriendo las verdades de nuestro mundo, nuestras creencias y nuestro reality. Welcome to Cultura Truth Project. Dímelo, mi gente. Welcome back. Es otro episodio, another one, but this one is live. Cultura Truth Project. Welcome back, Jose G, Daniel G. What's up, bro?
Bro, this is the first time we go live on this platform. It is a milestone, and already the debate and everything that's going on,
bro.
Already the debate and everything that's going on is already trying to take us away. Oh man, the CIA does not want me to talk today.
We got those three-letter agencies already at work here,
Lord.
man.
Jeez.
Well, everyone, welcome to the show. Welcome back. So today we got a very, very special show, not only because it's live, because we got two returning guests. We got two powerhouses back on the show. We got Juan Ayala from the Juan and Juan podcast, and we got Doe-Nut from the Doe-Nut Factory, and they're going to be joining us here in just a short bit. But why waste your time and giving your energy out to this debate, that's going on right now, when you can just be talking about some crazy ass shit, which we're going to be diving into some crazy ass shit today, Danny.
No, I agree. The craziness when Doe-Nut and Juan get together, I don't know what's going to happen. We might break the internet tonight. I think the only thing worth watching right now is Cultura Truth Project. Who cares what energy harvest is happening on primetime television? You should be watching Cultura Truth Project. And shout out to all of our people live in the chat on both Facebook and Instagram and everywhere else, guys. I'm excited for this. This is going to be great.
Appreciate you guys as always. Make sure you follow us on all the platforms, YouTube, Rumble, Cultura Truth Project. Make sure you follow us on Gonzalez Media TV. We're right now broadcasting live on our Facebook page and on our YouTube page. So make sure you go ahead and follow us there. Subscribe to the podcast on all platforms. Leave us a 5-star review. And you can support the show by joining the Supporters Club on Spreaker, $3 a month, where you get audio-only stuff where you can only listen on there. You can't get it on YouTube. You can't get it on Rumble. Link in the description. Make sure you join over there. So let's get the show started, bro. Let's first bring on Juan Ayala. He was our first guest in the very first episode that we did with Cultura Truth Project. So welcome back to the show, Papi. Que la que hay. Welcome back, man.
What's up, dude? Damn, the first guest, first live. Is this really your first live?
This is our first live, yeah.
This is our first live because all of our shows are usually recorded.
I'm so proud of you guys.
Appreciate it.
They say your homunculi grew up so quickly, right in front of your eyes.
Oh my God.
6 months, bro. 6 months. We're a 6-month homunculi.
We've smacked it with, with weird looking things like you told us to do. So,
We followed the ritual, bro.
You have to.
We did.
That's the only way. But I'm proud of you guys. It's dope.
We spit on it. We spit on it too. It's a whole thing. It's
you gotta spit on your mic, bro, so it doesn't act up.
Yeah, man. All right, and let's bring on Alex from Doe-Nut Factory. He has been on the show multiple times, bro. How you been, Doe-Nut? Welcome back, bro.
Whoop, whoop. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, bro.
Haktua on the homunculus, and let's poop out some homunculus babies.
Yeah, we're going to get into the Haktua. We're going to get into the summer solstice. We're going to get into all these crazy-ass shit rituals that's been going on right now. But, guys, Juan, where can the people find you, and where can the people follow you?
TJOJP.com has all my stuff. At the Juan on Juan podcast on all social media platforms. and I'm on YouTube as well, One-on-One Podcast, and any major podcast platform. Just Google TJOJP, and most of my stuff will pop up. So happy to be here.
And DoeNut, where can the people find you, broski?
Oh,
Ooh.
Where'd he
CIA
go?
took them out already, bro.
You can find me at doe-nut.com or my YouTube channel, Doe-Nut, and it looked like this homunculus baby. That's
Yeah,
me.
bro.
That's me when I was a baby.
I
That's
believe it. I believe it.
The original photo is much scarier.
That's hilarious. So, Juan, what you been up to, bro? Since we last had you on the show, I know you were working on a couple of things. You had recently. You released the volume 2 of the Chosen Juan comic series. How's that been going? And I know you've been interviewing tons of people. We had a meetup a few months ago. We'll touch up on that in a little bit. How's the comic book release been, and what you been up to?
Yeah, so far so good. I should be dropping it tomorrow, an 88-page zine or journal on the homunculus. So that's coming out as well. I was working on that for a little bit, and I've just been writing every day, writing out shorts, and haven't really been doing much research. I did do an episode last night where it was kind of research heavy, which we can talk about it because it's pretty interesting, and it's a super, super fascinating topic. It falls along the more you look into the homunculus stuff, the more it starts to pop up in the mainstream, and they're doing it up. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. I've just been writing a lot and grinding it out, man. You know how it is.
Juan broke the homunculus, and then it became mainstream on Cat Williams, opening up the mimetic magic rituals of 2023. Absolutely incredible.
That's true, because he did mention it during the interview, right? He interviewed in that Shay interview. He mentioned the homunculus in there, didn't he?
I just want to know, Juanito, how does it feel to be the ultimate homunculus magician of 2024?
Not good, but it was actually on Doe-Nut's show. I ever did the first ever presentation on the homunculus. It was on Doe-Nut's show. I don't know if that episode is up on his channel, but it's up on mine. The homunculus rising, the strangest story ever told, and that was the first time I ever spoke about homunculus and was unveiling my research into the topic. So if anything, we have to blame Doe-Nut because it took off on there, and then I started talking more and more about it as people were catching on. Like, yo, what is this? Now they're making movies about it. Like one of the latest ones I saw was in March. Wow. And I was watching that. Remember that movie that I talked to you about, Doe-Nut, on my show, Poor Things? I started watching that.
Right. I just remember our last conversation. We were talking about pooping out homunculus through yoga practices. Yeah. And that was absolutely nuts because, I mean, Amber Heard probably pooped out a homunculus during 100%. The Skull and Bones Knights Templar ritual of the Johnny Depp court case.
100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, no, it sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy, but it's not. And like the latest thing that I saw that I did a reel on was the bramunculi that I've dubbed it that, where it's like these people, they are creating these miniature brains and they're putting them in computers, and they made this neural platform of brain powered computers. The problem is that they torture these little brains to compute the information. If they compute well, they're rewarded with dopamine, and if they don't, they're shocked essentially with chaotic stimuli to these little brain homunculi. But the problem with that is they're like, listen, it's fine because the brains aren't sentient. It's like, how do you know? They're literally working them to death. That is like how they label it. Yeah, it's called Final Spark. And it blew my mind yesterday because I started going down the rabbit hole of this is like essentially the homunculus was the first Chat GPT. Like that's what it was. It was the first supercomputer. And now they got them for real in these computers. It's wild.
That's unbelievable. Dan, you want to chime in?
I'm shocked. I'm over here like, what did I just hear? Like, I think I'm gonna have to go into the corner and have like an autistic breakdown because this is just too much. This is just too much. I'm like, we're doing what with brains and shock? Like, This is like worse than animal testing. Like everybody used to be like back in the 90s, like animal testing is so bad for makeup. And I'm like, no, now we're just creating things and saying it's not cool. It's cool to do this. And it was like, but it's human DNA. It's almost like it kind of makes me like cringe when I think about this. But and I don't know how far deep we are into the episode where we can talk about this, but when like parts
12 minutes in, bro. Be careful.
No, I'm being very careful here. When parts of like the political left, right, like talk about, aborting fetuses, right? And I'm going to use certain words to try to keep us on air.
Those weren't the words to use, but all right.
Terminating
cells. Yeah.
Terminating pregnancies, right? And using the parts of the terminating of a terminated pregnancy to do things. And I wonder how much of that is feeding into what you're talking about. Because when I think about it, I'm like, is this the agenda of the elite? And they're using the political left, at least what we know as a political left, as a way to harvest these things so they can put it into a chat GPT. And maybe it is really just a smart wannabe Joe Biden that's really writing all of my AI things on Facebook now.
Well, also, if they're not testing it on animals, what are they testing it on? Are they testing it on humans or homunculi? Like, what, do they just? We didn't test this on any animals. Here, you tested out humans. I don't know.
I think that a lot of people on the internet, speaking of like a Bremunculi Biden, I think that a lot of people on the internet are these, lab grown organoid computers where they're using it as, and that's the plot to Matrix, by the way. They were using us as, you just share tab audio. I don't know if you're trying to play it or not. They were using us as computing power. That's the plot to the Matrix. And now it's happening for real. And I said that if this is coming out as the Esoteric out into the public, this company was established in like 2016 or something. The military industrial complex has access to this, and it's 3, 4, 5 times fold whatever they are presenting here. This is a funded. I think it's public now. They're in the first stage of funding, and if they're putting this out, the military industrial complex, the government, all that stuff already has this. And I think that the internet is a majority of the internet, a majority of the bots, a majority of are these little things. Because you can buy a subscription to tap into the neural platform, and you can use these little bremunculi, as I've dubbed them, to compute information for you. How it's wild, because they literally
crazy, bro.
They torture them. They torture them until they obey. That's pretty much what they're doing.
By the way, kudos to you, Juan. You're looking jacked in this video, bro.
Thanks, bro.
It's a true classic T-shirt. That's what it is.
Here we go. Let's play this video that Juan, so you guys can check it out on the Juan and Juan podcast on TikTok and all socials. But let's check this all out together.
Lab-grown brains that are tortured until they learn to obey. No, this isn't the Matrix. This is real life. A Swiss company called Final Spark has created a hybrid biocomputer that combines lab-grown mini-human brains with electronic circuits. Final Spark has successfully launched Neural Platform, the world's first bioprocessing platform where human brain organoids, lab-grown miniaturized versions of organs, perform computational tasks instead of silicone chips. Because of the Swiss alchemist Paracelsus, we know homunculi were the first lab-grown miniature humans used for magical purposes. But now they're growing miniature human brains. This new neural platform saves a lot of energy compared to normal computers, but has a big problem. The mini brains keep wearing out and dying, so scientists have to keep growing new ones to replace them. These lab-grown brains are made up of around 10,000 living neurons each. A microfluidic system that provides water and nutrients keeps the brains alive. Researchers train these brains using a reward and punishment system. They are rewarded with dopamine for good performance and punished with chaotic stimuli for poor performance. This method, known as wetware computing, uses the brains until they can no longer function. In other words, these miniature human brains are tortured until they learn to obey and are literally worked to death. Lab-grown brains.
And I think that TikTok since yesterday has like 70,000 views or something. People are just like going crazy. And
That shit is absolutely
is it that
wild.
one? No.
I want to know, and this is like a general question for everyone on the chat and here, right? Like,
What are your
where
thoughts
is
in the
the
comments? I want to see what people are saying in the chat, but go ahead, Danny.
no? Where's the ethical line, right? Like, where's the ethical line for technology advancement, right? Like we're starting to use all these old technologies and all these things, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, but where's the ethical line? Like, if you are creating something that is sentient on its own, a brain that can think and process on its own, and you're torturing it to death, whether it has a soul or not, where is the line? And I want to know what you guys think, because I think this is ridiculous. This should be outlawed. It should be banned. But I don't know. This is crazy to me. I'm not sure, man.
No, it is wild. And they were debating the ethics in the 15th century, bro. 15th, 16th century. They wrote about this already in the year 1600 when they were like, hey, what are you doing? I'm killing this homunculus because I don't know if it has a soul or not. But what is a soul? What is consciousness? Like, how can we draw the line if we don't know where the line is? And think about that concept, right? Miniaturized brains that are rewarded with dopamine and shocked if they don't compute correctly. That's us. We're rewarded with likes, with follows, with downloads, with whatever. It's like good. And then you got Cornhub and you got all these other stuff. It's like, hey, make sure you plug brain number 33 to the Cornhub. You know, make sure it's rewarded because it needs that shot. It's been doing real good, guys. So it's like, keep it going. We're those brains. We're the macrocosm of that's the microcosm.
I love how you use Alt 33, bro.
Yeah, oh, it's always the 33rd brain, bro. I mean, so it's like it's wild, but it's already happening with us. I mean, that's essentially what they're doing with social media, and that's what. Let's not forget. Where did the internet start? CERN. What was it? It was LifeLog, and then when they shut that down the next day, Facebook came about. It's like it's the same thing run by the same people, and let's take it a step further because this relates into the occult, where we don't know what they're doing with all the information that they take from us. Literally, they fine Facebook billions of dollars and they sell our information to who? They can't tell you who. So think about this. What are they doing in all these simulations that they're running where you're powering your interdimensional interweb doppelganger on some other realm? And what happens when they affect that doppelganger on the other side? What if, right? They create, because we know. Listen, there's a book that talks about this. It's by Tracy Twyman Genuflect, where they collect people's fluids, right? All of them. And they're using it for some occult ritual. But think about that on a larger scale. Like, how do we know they're not taking our stuff and using those cells to create these brains? And what happens when there's a lot of things that go around, like mental health is a thing, right? Where what if schizophrenia for 1 second, right? Let's just think outside the box for 1 second. There's a lot of things that we don't know why. What my dad has MS. They don't know what causes MS. Okay. They don't know. It's just like, well, it just happens. There's no cure for it. There is a treatment. What if for 1 second, they got a hold of your DNA, they created one of these little brains and they're doing stuff to that brain, and whatever that happens to that brain happens to you for real. Because according to sympathetic magic, the law of contagion, something that is in contact, something that comes into contact with something else always stays in contact. So whatever is part of you that is being used somewhere else, and now tie this into the world sentient simulation where they're running tabloid, they're running a whole simulation parallel to ours. And I've heard from people who were in the, how do I word this, in the healthcare profession, that the companies that provide you coverage, and I'm saying this very carefully, they have algorithms that will detect when something is going to happen with you. Now, are they doing that intentionally when they give you a call? Hey, it's time for your yearly check. Or are they running something behind the scenes that they know is going to cause a change within you? Therefore, that's the trigger. When they give you a call, boom. They've already ran it in the behind the scenes. That's not too far-fetched to think about. We gotta understand that there's a lot of powerful people running, and I'm not gonna say it's a simulation, but it acts like a simulation.
Well, I can tell you this, bro. my brother and I, Danny and I, both work in health. I worked in healthcare for 20 years. He still works in healthcare. I worked in ophthalmology, doing eye surgeries and all that stuff. And I
I'm a
kind of
big pharma
know,
shill. It's fine.
yeah. And he worked in the pharmacological side of things, right? But the whole pharmacological side of things, it what runs the industry. The doctors have been taught that they have to teach or prescribe these medications. If not, they'll get their licenses revoked or suspended. And this has just been like this for over 100 years. It's Rockefeller medicine, right? So it's nothing new under the sun when we see these concepts, because it's cyclical. Like you said, in the 1500s they were doing it, now they're doing it again, so it's really nothing cyclical, but shit is crazy ass wild though.
So to touch on what Juan was talking about, it's creepy that he's like being very accurate about this, and he doesn't even know what I do for a day job, right? And I'm gonna keep names out of this, right? But there's technology now, right? With the providers, and I'm gonna say just providers as in a whole, that literally they run AI in the background of, because everything's electronic now. There's no paper, there's nothing paper anymore. They run crawling technology and AI through every profile, let's just say for a major PBM or for a major insurance provider, right? And that right there gives them a list of people of, hey, this is who we have to call because they haven't picked up X medication on this day, and they should have picked it up so they can stay hooked on whatever it is, let it be an opiate or blood pressure medication or cholesterol, doesn't matter, right? That's just what they do on a daily basis. If what Juan is saying is 100% true, and not to say that you're not, I don't believe that you're lying, but I think that there's always a degree of truth versus like hyperbolism, it's scary because I see it firsthand on what they do with modern day AI just on a day-to-day work basis. And it's like, yeah, that's how I get paid, and that's how I get to provide some of this stuff for that Jose and I we do. But it's one of those things where it's like I see it happen, and it's like every day that I'm like, God, I pray that you just give me a pathway out of this industry so I never have to touch it again, because it's scary that there are patients, true patients, people in their 60s and 70s, patients that have, lifelong diseases like your dad with MS, that they are stuck on medications without seeing a true alternative on how to get out of those things, right? Like example, our mom has, a form of autoimmune. I don't want to go into deep on the type of autoimmune, but she has a form of autoimmune, and she's found ways through holistically feel better on a day-to-day basis without having to take medications. And there is a sector of the medical community that is turning into more holistic style medicine, that are, I hate to say it, our forefathers, our people, the Taino people that we used to do, take the stuff from the ground, and it's like, hey, take this tea instead of, that'll help you get better permanently, versus take something that'll just keep you going back to the pharmacist, back to CVS, back to Walgreens, back to whatever, to keep that cash cow going. And that is the true thing that is scary about that. If that is true, they're truly turning what's already a multi-billion, probably multi-trillion-dollar industry into something way scarier every day.
I've sent you the follow-up article that I'm going to be doing another reel on, because they that also came out yesterday. So it's funny that they both came out yesterday. But
Actually, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I saw an article on that. These scientists created a robot skin in Japan, and this shit is crazy to look at. I'm about to bring it up on screen here because it is freaky, and this is what the future beholds us, people. It's not too far away from reality, and this is where we're at. And this is actually from Orlando. Shout out to Fox 35. But yeah, this is
What is that?
robot. They have human skin growing on it.
We may be one step closer to robots that look just like humans.
Just like Chucky.
no, the skin is lab grown,
For this
and they put it on a robot.
Self-healing human skin. They used living cells, which resulted in a 3D facial mold and a 2D skin robot. They say it's actually a breakthrough,
That
though,
shit
for the
moving is
cosmetics
freaky,
industry,
bro.
and they also hope that this
Crazy.
can train plastic
That's what
surgeons
nightmares
to
are made of.
improve their craft.
Now nobody is gonna be able to get a good night's sleep tonight. Sorry, guys.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
shit
bro.
is
I'll
crazy.
sleep fine because I watched the Chucky movies and it
Same.
looked just like that. And also with that Brahmunculus that Juan was showing, I mean, it being in Switzerland, Switzerland's like a powerhouse of power.
That's where CERN is
currently.
at too, isn't it?
CERN is there. And what they're doing at CERN in the video footage, which I think they're kind of showing us what is happening, is they're hooking humans up to the Large Hadron Collider. And so like with this organoid Brahmunculus computer stuff, I mean, it's next level. Everything going down.
Are they really, dude? Can you send me that?
Yeah, I'll put it in the comment. 1 second.
That's wild. But it doesn't surprise me because like if I've learned anything from Full Metal Alchemist, all right, if you watch Full Metal, it's all unveiled there. It's all there. So the taboo is that you need human lives to create the Philosopher's Stone, and then once you have the Philosopher's Stone, you can create the homunculi or the elixir of life or whatever it is. But think about this. Think about all the things that have happened within history that they've told us, where they've gathered a large amount of people and they've put in places. What the mainstream is now, think about what I just told you and apply that to that historical event. And there's various historical events where they've gathered up a large amount of people and put them in places, concentrated places, if you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So look at the 30 coins, Jose, like that show. A lot of the concepts in that's like, what? It blew my mind to like, okay, that's crazy because we always accept what we've been told at face value. But like I said, there's always three sides of the story. There's three sides of the story. What actually happened, version A, and then version B.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but that if they figure it out, I think that that's what I think the soul, the essence, the prima materia is the technology that is needed. And I think they're starting to figure that. They've already figured this out for a long time, but now it's starting to creep its head in to the mainstream to see how people react to it. Like, hey, here we are, these brain-powered computers, right? Huh? Just a tip. Boom, we've already grown whole people in labs. They're running around society right now. Is anyone paying attention? That's what they do. They put the tip in and they're like, all right, well, the whole shaft is next, and the whole shaft.
It's almost like we're about to have a whole Westworld situation on our hands here.
Here goes DoeNut's thing about CERN.
Yeah, let me bring it up.
Oh yeah, so this is just the video
crucial
clip,
innovations in
and if you play it at 5:10,
this collaboration.
You could see that it's the CERN
Large
Hadron.
Can you turn off the volume?
There we go. Sorry, I turned it off. Sorry.
It just shows visual images of it, and I think that they're showing us the truth through it.
What, bro? What?
This is
Did
creepy.
you know that the particle accelerators are also used to treat answer? You can't say that because who knows? But at CERN. So not only did they give us the internet, this other dimension, essentially, that people log in through a portal, and there are probably homunculi running around all the time. Those are the trolls in the video, DoeNut. They're actually miniature organoids in some supercomputer somewhere. Okay, that's what the trolls are on the comments. Like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, DoeNut. That's not DoeNut. That's a clone. That's an organoid, bro, in some freaking supercomputer somewhere. And now this. Dude,
isn't that crazy? The audience can't see it though.
Here we go. I think this is the timestamp that you told me to put it at. So
it's at 5:10. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Let me hit the play.
And this is in Switzerland.
And that's on their YouTube.
Has acted as a
Yeah, this is on their
disruptive
YouTube.
technologies, which in turn have enabled crucial innovations in medicine. This collaboration is far from over.
Wow.
They're hooking people up to the large
This is
hard.
it's like the whole thing we talked about a couple episodes ago, that they're announcing what they're doing so they don't have any karmic repercussions.
Yeah, the revelation of the method. That's a thing, right?
So they say, but I don't think it's revelation of the method. I think it's the observer effect that is actually taking the actual effect there, because we know that we know that for those that believe in mainstream science, right? We know that a lot of people don't, but it's the observer effect is a real phenomenon. We don't know why it happens, but it does. That reality reacts differently when it's being observed versus when it's not being observed. So I think that the revelation of method is about the observer effect. So once they get your eyes on it, it changes the equation up, whether that's on a macro or micro scale. But I think it's about that. I don't think it's about like, oh, they're not going to have any karma. It's like, no, they're using you. They're using your power, right? We're talking about hooking up people to the machine. We always talk about the ghost and the machine and all these different concepts. Well, that's their version of that. Right now we got the debate going on. Everyone's tapping in. Boom. That's the ritual. You watching is the ritual. Like, they got you,
Yeah.
So that's what it's about. It's about the observer effect, because it is a powerful effect. And that's why
kudos to the 57 of y'all that are watching right now. Smash that like button, because y'all are not giving into that energy harvest. So kudos to y'all. Y'all getting wicked smart, just like DoeNut says every single video. But DoeNut, what have you been up to? What projects you've been? I know you've been interviewing tons of people. You just put out an incredible video on Project Bluebeam, or the fake Project Bluebeam. What's going on? What are you finding in your research, and what you've been working on?
Absolutely stressed out. I mean, this is just absolutely nuts. I'm trying to figure out how to calm my ass down from all of the research I'm doing. And what I'm realizing is that all of the fear that I look into, there's also the beauty and the truth and the love as well, and tapping into that. Today I was listening to the Ode of Joy, which is Beethoven, and it's crazy. Beethoven, that guy was, according to Paranoid American termed, he's the Justin Bieber of the Illuminati. Like, everybody that made Beethoven famous teaching him was all Illuminati members. But even though that's the case, the guy was great at music, and Ode to Joy was all about freedom. It came from a poem, Ode to Freedom. And so there is like this beautiful stuff that it's important to focus on as well. And so that's what I've been doing. Listening a little bit of Bruno Mars, I like that Uptown Funk, that's my jam right there. But what I've been interviewing a lot of people on this journey to get wicked smart, and I've uncovered a lot for the fake UFO alien agenda. We are absolutely going through Project Bluebeam right now. It would not surprise me if during this energy harvest of the debate, they bring up the UFO topic. Donald Trump was just on Logan Paul's show, and right in the beginning, they bring up the UFO topic. You got the memes of Billy Carson, Cat Williams, and Terrence Howard, all bringing everybody into a new type of thinking. Now, this is the key, according to Stanford Research, SRI. SRI wrote this essay/book called Changing Images of Man. And it was all about just changing the thinking of the Judeo-Christian perspective of just what kind of inspired the Renaissance back to the Gaia worship, back to Mother Earth. And now you can see this with Prince Charles, the crazy Prince Charles related to Dracula or whatever, promoting that in his new campaign, the Terra Cultura or something like that. It's all going back to the Earth. And you're going to see a connection with this Project Bluebeam that we're going through, where they're telling us there's aliens. So we don't need a holographic alien invasion. People on their phones microdosing, they're being told that this, and look, that's Ezekiel will. Like, they're not even getting creative with it because they don't need to. The symbols already exist in the Akashic records. The symbols already exist in the subconscious mind of mankind, of the human race. And so yeah, I can continue, but there's just a lot going on.
Now,
with
for the audience that doesn't know what the Akashic records are or is, can you briefly touch on what the Akashic records are?
Yeah, it's the Akashic records is just like we all can access information. Now, that is, I don't know where that comes from. It seems very woo-woo-y, but Plato talked about it as well. I believe it was Plato. He spoke about it as well, where you could just access information.
So is it like kind of like a source of knowledge that people could access through their subconscious kind of deal?
Yeah, and symbols play a huge role in this. And Carl Jung went into it, and he was also working as an agent as well. And this changing images of man really went into changing the thought process, bringing in the Gnostic mysticism, stuff like that into the West. So there's a reason why Gordon Wasson, the propagandist for J.P. Morgan, brought in psilocybin. Everybody microdosing right now. This is all a banker war effort for everybody to have a reset of their autonomic nervous system. Timothy Leary, for example, who was really one of the social engineers of the hippie movement, everybody taking the schizogenics and the free love. The Gordon
and jerking dolphins off. Don't forget the dolphin jerking.
Yeah, jerking the dolphins off as well. But that's all connected with the alien stuff. So there is a connection of bringing some sort of mysticism to the West. And there's a reason for it. Not saying that it's bad to jerk a dolphin off or to take your mushrooms or whatever. I'm not saying like this. I'm saying there's a reason why they want you to jerk off the dolphins. And
I thought this was America, DoeNut, and I could do whatever I wanted.
I thought it was too. That's why.
No. You guys don't
dolphin. I'll do it. Damn it.
You guys don't live in America. I live in America. I live in Texas. This is the most America of America states. Okay,
Sit your ass down.
I can do whatever the hell I want, and
I don't know. Arizona way better than Texas. Arizona.
Listen,
I don't know, bro. We're literally like a flopping, hanging dick here in Florida, bro. So.
We are the reproductive force. We are the manna in the phallus of America, which is Florida. So check this out. I think that the secret of reality, and I need to get your expert opinion on this, DoeNut, because I know you're the dolphin guy. And I know we talked about the dolphin penises at the Bohemian Grove live, but I think that look at this guy. Look at that guy's screen name.
That profile picture.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
They go hard. That go hard.
Listen, I think that the secrets of reality are the noises that a dolphin makes at the point of orgasm. Do you know what a dolphin sounds like at the point of climax, DoeNut? And if so, does that, once you do that, imagine once you do that, the doors of perception open up and you're able to step through the other side.
Right.
What?
Well, I mean, it's friction, right? Friction, explosion, release, and relax.
Sounds like Jose in 2007 when he was leaving the house. That's what it sounds like when it's
got to be from a dolphin.
Okay? No, I get it, but the sound sounds like Jose in 2007.
Yeah, bro. Not just that.
I was watching this movie last night. It was pretty funny, and they were going into that pigs have the longest orgasm.
Really?
I gotta fact check it, but this movie was a big Hollywood production, and they said that. And they
one has to wonder, because they have the longest orgasm. So one has to wonder, since they have the longest orgasm, is it the most difficult to obtain?
I don't know. That's a good question.
You're gonna have to ask a veterinarian for that one, probably.
But it's not just any dolphin climate. He's got to be on LSD, because that's what Leary was doing.
Well, that's another thing. Shit.
To find the aliens, they were hooking dolphins up to LSD. And DoeNut, what was that thing that you told me about? That they said that Leary was the modern Crowley.
Lilly was the modern Crowley. John C. Lilly, who was doing the dolphin experiments funded by the government. So they would touch the dolphins have a connection with them. And then the dolphins would go down to the whales and then communicate the message to the whales, and the whales would bring it probably to Atlantis to communicate with the aliens. This is funded by the government. this is what the Illuminati dolphin, John C. Lilly stuff is about. So there's a connection to the dolphins. And if you look at Mars attacks, their brains are the brain of a dolphin. That's the reason they do the experiments with the dolphins, because their brain is a little bigger than a human brain, but they are very similar. You know what I mean? So there's a connection, and what the connection is you know how everything's really hot right now and there's all this bad weather? That is the connection. The environment is connected to eugenics and the alien agenda. There has been written books with H.G. Wells and all the different social engineers working with the elite, talking about how can we bring communism to the world. One of them was the climate, and another one was Martians.
Oh, and then, that kind of opens up a whole nother conversation about HARP. We had Thomas Paranoid American on the show, and we talked about a good half hour about HARP. Where do you guys kind of sit on that when it comes to the climate and HARP? Is there any connection there, especially with what happened with the Aurora Borealis a few months ago, when they turned it on, and then that specifically came all the way down to Florida? I personally didn't see it, but it was all over the media. So where do you guys sit on it? What are you, Juan?
I think that the climate is actually fake and gay, and I think that HARP is being used as like a worldwide web to power something else. I think it's used to open up portals, and I think that I think and part of the bramunculi, part of that agenda, the main thing for them talking about that and pushing that is that it uses less energy. So it's cost effective, it's energy efficient. So DoeNut, what is it? We're making these brains, and maybe we're torturing them, and maybe we're overstimulating, we're working them to death, but don't you care about the environment? So they program you in that way.
That's one of the top traits of a psychopath, is virtual signaling as well. Just that there.
So if you don't care about the weather, then you're not going to fund this, because this is going to save the planet. Now, is it kind of morally sticky? Yeah, probably, but we were also jerking dolphins off. And we were funding that. But hey, that's besides the fact. We got to focus on saving it. And so they use these things, how DoeNut is saying, to hijack what'd you call it? The amygdala, was it?
The amygdala hijack. Yes. This is all scientific. This is all psychology. It runs deep, and that's what it's about. It's about transferring just one thought process. Tony Robbins said something, and he's a total shill, whatever, and runs a cult in Fiji. They call him like the great god or something weird like that. So I'm not promoting Tony Robbins at all, but he said something
I've never heard that before, bro.
Bro, yeah, you're dropping. Hold on, DoeNut, slow down, dude. You do this. All right, hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Up in here, bro.
Tony, all right, repeat that again. Where are your sources for that? Because I gotta.
Tony
That's wild,
Robbins. Bro. I'll look it up. I'll Google it right now. But yeah, Tony Robbins, his Fiji cults, the people there call him like the great.
Keep talking, DoeNut. I'll look it up for you. It's fine.
Yeah, just look up Tony Robbins Fiji cult, and it'll probably pull up. But he says that if you just change a little bit of your method in life, just this much, just a little bit, just this much, it goes like a long way. So like if you just if you change your golf swing, I don't know how to golf, so I'm like slamming that's how I would golf. I don't know how to golf, but if you move the golf swing just a little bit, it'll shoot the ball way further. So just changing the thought process a little bit, bringing it back to like the Gnostic mysticism, it will bring the culture away from the Renaissance that took place through the thought process that we had before.
Bro,
what did you find?
He just
It's
He's
like a
just-
women's thing. It's like a women's trauma thing. And
yeah, I
apparently they
saw
did a
that
whole-
one. I'm looking at a Reddit post right now. I'm trying to figure out where like it sounds very culty.
They did a Netflix documentary on it too. The Tony
attending date with
Oh,
Destiny.
here we go. Travel guide: The Cult of Tony Robbins. Oh, here we go.
What the
And if
dude.
you look at
Found
Tony
it.
Robbins' book, it looks just like Hubbard's book, the guy that created Scientology.
Dianetics.
Here
Yeah,
it goes.
the Dianetics book.
Thrive Global: The Cult of Tony Robbins.
Dude, what? This is crazy. I've never heard about this.
I mean, Grant Cardone got his cult out here, and I was like thinking of applying because I could get dental and health insurance and all that.
Oh, check this out. The crowd was truly all in on Tony. Most of the people who go to these events seem to really love Tony. Oh God. He's
Put
gonna-
it in me, Tony.
Ay, Dios mío, sí, Tony, por favor.
Tony, please.
So a few months back, the three of us got together. So DoeNut, Juan, and Thomas, Paranoid American, here in Florida. We went to Summerfield for a show with Sam Tripoli, and it was a fun time. And DoeNut, you and Juan had the opportunity of having a live podcast there with the crowd in there. I want to get both of your thoughts on like that experience. And then Juan, you had your first crack at stand-up comedy, and you had supposed to had a 5-minute set. I think you only did 3 minutes, but you did pretty good, bro. How was the experience? What did you feel like going up and performing in front of all those people? Talk to me, bro.
I mean, it's different once you're in the room. Again, it taps into kind of sort of what we've been talking about. It's that organic feedback where, you know, you're used to talking to a screen, a camera, over a stream or whatever it is, and people interact with your work, but it's not real time. So once you're sitting in front of the crowd, which becomes its own organism, you start to feel that feedback real time, and you kind of got to go like, oh, wait a minute, like there's something's happening as you're going. And I had originally planned for a 3-minute set. So I think I hit the 3-minute. What ended up happening, I ended up mixing my jokes. The middle one was last, and then the last one was in the middle, so it kind of was clunky. But would I do it again? Probably not, because it's just like one of those type of things where I think that growth comes from a bit of trauma. And I think, and that sounds weird, but I think that's been proven that trauma helps you grow. And so it's like when you prune a tree, well, it's going to keep growing again. You're training it. So I kind of wanted to do that. I don't know why I wanted to do it, but I just wanted to check it off the bucket list, I guess, to be like, oh, I've done stand up. It could have gone a lot worse. Let's just say that. I mean, it could have been like completely bad, but from what I heard, I mean, people enjoyed it. And I think it was would I do it again? Maybe I might. It just depends on the circumstances. And I think that the circumstances for me that day were perfect, to where it was a bunch of my friends, other like-minded people, and that was it.
Packed, bro. It was packed.
Yeah,
It was packed. It was a good time.
It was
But,
a full
like,
audience.
When you're sharing your experience like that, Danny, like when you hear Juan's story, does it remind you a little bit about how when you first started, when you did stand up?
I mean, when I first started, I was drunk. So no, seriously. So like real quick, first time I ever go on stage, I was drunk after a Tony Hinchcliffe show, and there was an open mic in the back room of a Hyenas Comedy Club in Dallas. And Tony goes, "Hey, you're a wrestling fan too, and you're kind of funny. I'm gonna sign you up for this thing." And he signs me up, and I wait till like 2:00 in the morning with my ex-wife there. She's just looking at me like, what the fuck are we doing here? And I go up, I
2
bomb.
in the morning.
2 in the morning, my friend. 2 in the morning to 3 people. That was my first stand-up ever. But man, it's fun. Like, not a lot of people get to do their first ever time on stage in front of a group of like-minded individuals that will be it's almost like you got hand-fed this audience in a good way. What also sucks, if you decide to pursue stand-up, you're gonna realize how much it sucks to like grind how much it sucks to go out to these open mics and actually practice and go in front of crowds that aren't your crowd and learn to work a crowd. That's where it becomes the art. That's where it becomes a grind. That's where it becomes a job. But I'm excited for you, man. I was really happy. I know that Jose asked you to reach out to me in the process of that, and I wasn't able to make it. But man, it was really cool to hear that you did it, and I was super proud of you guys for doing it, and especially in front of Sam, man. I've opened for Sam before. He don't just let anybody do it. I mean, he's super liberal as far as, and I don't mean liberal as in political sense. Like he's super, like he's a comics comic. He wants everybody to do well. Yeah. He wants everybody to get a chance. But he's also one of those guys that if you don't hit your time, you're never getting a second chance again. So, he's one of the good ones, and I really appreciate Sam for everything that he's done, even for me and other comics like myself and yourself. It's like, again, you're part of the tribe now. Whether you do it consistently or not, you're always going to be a comedian now.
Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like how you said, it was the perfect opportunity, perfect atmosphere, perfect circumstances. So I was like, well, let's just do it. Who cares? And then it just happened. And like, would I do it again? Probably not, because like how you said, those jokes were specifically for that demographic that went there. That's already conspiracy minded. So I was able to get away with a little bit more than I would be at a freaking bar at 2 a.m. People are like, what the hell is this guy even talking about? Like, get this guy out of here, So, well, yeah.
Those slow deaths at 2 o'clock in the morning are real, though, man. You're already buzzed. Everybody's a little buzzed, and you start talking about your penis, and things just go downhill really quick.
That's what I did. I started talking about the Wang, and I even dropped the link. It doesn't show me talking about it, but I totally failed. It was my first.
That was Stein?
Yeah, I was with Alex Stein.
You talked about your penis?
I didn't know what to talk about. I was just.
I have it right here.
I was at the Alex Stein show, and I was just filming it for him. And then he's like, "You want to go on stage?" That's me on stage and do a comedy. I had no set, I had no routine, and I said,
"Please play this. Please play this. I need to see this."
It doesn't have me doing the stand-up. It's just the video B-roll of it.
It's not just me. You get to see the man, the myth, the legend. He might go up there and die. He might go up there and live.
Look at you, Doe-Nut. You got long hair. You got a little man bun going on right now, bro.
That's back when I was handsome. Yes.
Bro, no, don't sell yourself short, bro. You're one handsome dude, bro. I've seen you in person. Tall and handsome. Ladies,
and he's funny. He's naturally funny. You see how everyone loved him when he was up there with Sam and the guys? He's hilarious, bro.
That's B-Real's son for real, bro.
Yeah, but either way, it'll be entertaining.
I was up there, but yeah, that was it. That was just that one little second. But I went up there. It was all conservatives, and everything I said, they did not like, because I didn't know what to say. So I just started talking about my life. And I think when I talk about my life, I'm a little too honest. And then it makes people uncomfortable, because hearing about insecurities just makes people uncomfortable. Like, they're like, I don't want to hear about that, and everyone, and people after the show, people came up to me and they were like, "It's going to be okay, man. It's going to be okay." I was like, I'm fine.
That's awesome. Now, you both had the opportunity to sit in during the live podcast during that show. Now, Sam, a lot of the people that are watching this more than likely do listen to Sam's podcast. Sam has a huge podcast, big following. What was it like being able to collaborate with Sam and the other podcasters that were there? Because there was a lot of people there. Cheney was there. The other gentleman that you interviewed from that farm here in Florida, I forget his name.
Jim Gill.
Jim, great guy. So tons of great people there, great networking. But like, what was that collaboration like, DoeNut?
Oh, it was so cool. I mean, he was very sweet right when he walked in. Really nice, down to earth. And I like that, because I've been in the music video, like filming all these rappers, and they're all dickheads. And I think that's not a bad term to say. I think that's an actual, like, that's what they are. I've met a lot of my heroes, and they were all so mean to me. Just absolutely rude, mean, didn't care. Multiple rappers, and I don't mind putting them on blast. They all suck. And But I guess I have a resentment. I gotta pray for them. But
They say never meet your heroes.
Sam wasn't like that. Sam was really nice, and I wasn't even supposed to go on stage, and he was like, "Come up on stage." I mean, so cool, so grateful for that.
Yeah. And you had an opportunity to do stuff with him with Paranoid American, right, Juan? Because you were doing stuff with the comics. So did you get to work with him in the comic stuff too, or was this the first time you got to work with him?
No, yeah, we had gotten. Remember, I knew Sam a little bit before the whole podcasting thing because I had been on Tinfoil Hat, I think back in, I forgot what year that was, but so we kind of talked about that, and we talked about when I had him in my comic. He's Triple Lee in my comic book, and Johnny and XG are homunculus strapped to his back. So, and that was before I was even researching homunculus. So, yeah, we kind of had already touched base, and it was always there. So that's why I felt comfortable asking him, like, "Hey, is it okay if I do, 2 minutes?" Or I had originally planned for a minute because time goes by so quickly, and it's all about cadence. Like, if anything, comedy is about delivery. It's not even about like what you say. You can say something that's not funny, but if you say it in a funny way, then it'll make people laugh. So that's why I felt comfortable asking him to go up there. And of course, I knew he wasn't going to say no, because he's also the kind of guy I was like, well, you want to shoot yourself in the foot, then go ahead, because it's not easy. And I get kudos to comedians that do it like for real, that go up there and write jokes and all, because it ain't easy. And everyone's like, "Oh, it's
easy, homie.
I can do that." Well,
it ain't easy.
So that was for all the times I've cracked a joke on air that nobody laughed, because that's the thing. We're here now. We're between ourselves. But if I crack a joke and the two of us laugh or three of us laugh here, right, that are here, we don't know if the people on the other side are laughing. We're just assuming that they're laughing, but it could be falling flat on its face. And so being up there and receiving the feedback, looking around, and on top of that was outside, looking around and seeing the disgust on people's face as you're talking about the stuff that you're talking about, getting that real feedback. It was like, oh, I'm up. I was like, oh, these are real people. These aren't homunculi. These are real people out here.
True story, because this is in Summerfield, Florida. So this is like 2 hours west from Orlando, and probably it's like maybe an hour south of Ocala. It's closer to Ocala than it is to Orlando. So you can kind of figure out what the demographic might be in that area. But funny what happened is that during the show, I think one of the comedians was asking someone about if they had any type of substance, any type of extracurricular substance, and this older lady, this older couple, I do, like, she just was so proud, and everybody gasped that they were like, "What the fuck?" She's like, she just said that she has this, she has that fun powder,
the
devil's
dandruff. The devil's dandruff.
The devil's dandruff. Yeah, that shit was wild, dude. That shit was crazy. But that was a fun show, though. So DoeNut, we had the summer solstice last week. What kind of rituals did we see last week, or anything big went down in the news that we need to be aware of, and in preparation for the rest of the year, especially since it's an election year and a lot of shit going down?
Well, last year the Shamir meme that Juan made that went super viral of the submersible. The submersible was the summer solstice ritual of last year, where they were underwater with 96 hours. The 96 or the 69 is the summer solstice Cancer at the top. And this year we had the summer solstice rituals of the Haktua, which goes into the 69 position. In a sense, it's fellatio. It's also sodomy. Not a lot of people know that. But the summer solstice is very important to the ancient days, ancient temples. I mean, the White House, we have the debates going on now. It's based off of a Templar house. And the White House, when you lay the cornerstone, the White House cornerstone is facing to the northeast for the summer solstice. Now, during the summer solstice in the northeast of America, they had a royal arch dome over the Northeast with this heat map. So there's a lot of symbolic stuff going on, and it is absolutely incredibly important to America, to symbolism, to Freemasonry. Absolutely, I can't stress how important it is. Albert Pike dedicated his entire astrology room in his Masonic temple to the date August 10th and the day centering upon it, because the summer solstice is connected to the next ritual, which is the helical rising of Sirius. So July 4th, we're going to celebrate that, right? Why do we celebrate that, right? Independence Day is July 2nd. Benjamin Franklin moved it to July 4th because the Washington phallic at the monument, the sun hits the top of it on July 4th. At least back then, I don't know about today, because the helical rising will be on August 12th, the day after the Olympics. So I'm definitely looking out for the next ritual to be on August 12th, which is 812, which is this 128 code that I've been cracking, that all this crazy stuff goes down with this number. Joe Biden's emergency text alert, the first one, for example, was released on the helical rising when Trump was in office. But Biden's text alert that he sent out was at 218, which is 812 just in reverse. So just like 9669, it's all the same numbers because they all add up numerically with the same value. So it doesn't matter which order they're in. So that's the next ritual that I'm looking out for.
Did you see my follow-up? I don't know if you want to see. Did you see that video that he pulled up there, DoeNut?
Yeah, but I'm about to pull it right back up here. Check it out. Here we go.
Solomon and the Ocean Gate submersible. Was it an occult ritual, and are they getting ready to do it again? Ocean Gate co-founder Guillermo Solane is planning a trip to Dean's Blue Hole, one of the world's deepest ocean sinkholes. It is 202.997 meters, or 666 feet deep. Solane revealed his plan around the anniversary of the Titan submersible implosion, which killed 5 on board. It is an interesting name for the submersible that met a fitting demise because the Titans were imprisoned in a cavity beneath Tartarus. Also, why did the Titan look like Solomon's shamir? A warmer substance with the power to...
I just got to say, Juan, you should be the host of that new mystery show that William Shatner's on. You should be the Unexplained show. You should be the host of that show.
Cut through
with that same T-shirt. With the same T-shirt.
Yeah, with the same T-shirt. You just be super jacked about it, right?
Iron or diamond.
We'll get you on
Solomon
TRT.
was said to have used it in the building of the first temple. In one story, the demon king Asmodeus told Solomon that the shamir was given by God to the angel of the sea, who then lost it and later committed suicide. This is how Solomon was able to obtain it. The shamir was meant to have always been wrapped in wool and stored in a container made of lead. Any other vessel would burst and disintegrate under the shamir's gaze. On board the Titan was Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. Shahzada means prince or king's son. Suleiman translates to Solomon, and Dawood is the equivalent to the biblical David, the father of King Solomon.
That's
King
all a coincidence, though, right? I mean,
that's
definitely not a coincidence. The programming is definitely there.
Yeah,
great finds.
Yeah. So the one of the founders is going to explore this one of the deepest holes in the Bahamas, and I don't know what he obviously didn't learn from the first time around.
No, they're just stupid.
Well, they got to go deep in them holes.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing,
that's how they access the other dimension, is going deep into the hole.
It's because this Eurocentric thinking. They just want to penetrate deep into things very deeply.
DoeNut is on it. I think that the answer to it all is under the ocean, bro, and that's why they have these movies like Godzilla and the kaiju and all this stuff, and that's why Ghislaine, however you want to say her name, she had a submarines pilot license. Epstein also had a submarines pilot license. All these wealthy elites have submarine licenses. Terramar, all this stuff. I think it's under the waters. And what are they doing now? Shark attacks, the sawfish going crazy. Don't go into the water. The water's too warm. There's a whole bunch of stuff breaking out in the water. Stay out of the water. They don't want you in the water because you might get Who knows? You might get violated by a dolphin too, and figure out the secrets of reality by that. I think I'm going to say this. I think that the secrets of reality are in the noise of a dolphin orgasm. I think that's the secret. I think you will dissolve out of reality once you hear that noise. Like,
you know what's crazy?
I've touched a dolphin.
Jose, you know what's crazy? That Juan is saying we should stay out of the water. Richard Aviles, we've had him on the podcast before. He's deathly terrified of the ocean, and I think we're just giving him every reason to stay out of the water right now because it's the secrets to the universe
just
are in the water.
Mexico Ocean, very chill.
Well, I have a quick clip here about the 128 code that you
I'm scared of the ocean. I'm freaked out of it.
Freaked out of the ocean, bro? I love the ocean.
I'm so scared of it, but
now, I don't know if I love it that much anymore with all this information that I'm finding out about.
There's like no wave. I'm scared of just like how vast it is.
Yeah. No. Forget that. That's why the newest Netflix movie, the Under Paris, I think it was, where it was the shark under the catacombs of Paris. Have you guys seen that movie?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen the trailer for it. Yeah,
it's crazy, ridiculous,
so wild. So there's a video that we did with one of the interviews we did with DoeNut, and he kind of gave us a breakdown of the 128 code for you guys that don't know about the 128 code. Check it out.
The 128 code. The coding behind it, that it happened at 1:28 a.m. or Pacific time, 10:28. In numerology, you always remove the 0, but this 128 number I've been talking about a lot. In gematria, bridge collapse equals 128. The towers started to collapse in New York at 10:28 a.m., which is 128. The shuttle explosion happened on January 28th, which is 128. But the biggest one was Leave the World Behind, was released on December 8th, which is spelled 12-8, 128. But the big thing was, the big thing, spit on that dang.
On that dang.
We did really good editing that video.
Appreciate that. So you mentioned that we need to be looking out for August 12th. That's 128 in there. What else do we need to be looking out for, man?
Well, the end of the year. The end of the dragon year ends on 128 as well, January 28th. Or February, I don't know, February 18th, something like that. One of those two, but it's 128. It's just in the code of stuff. Yeah. There's like, I'm definitely, I don't get all schizoid with it. I try to stay as grounded as possible. And I think there is evidence of numerical rituals. I mean, the scriptures, the Bible, there is number codes in it. People have shown even what's going on in the Middle East right now. Rabbis and preachers have shown like codes in that. I don't know it, but people look into this stuff. And the Bitcoin in gematria is 72. On the back of the dollar bill, there's 72 bricks on the back of the pyramid. 72 in a tetrachit, which is a pyramid. You can write the name of God in a tetrachit style and it equals 72 in gematria. And on the 72 day, Bitcoin hits 72,000. Now, I think that's crazy. I think that's not crazy, but I think that's like evidence of some weird stuff going down.
Well, definitely. 72 is 666. It's 66 plus 6 equals 72. So whenever you see 72,
wow.
it's 666, bro.
Damn.
I got to write that down so I don't forget it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, 66 plus 6 equals 72. 72, the
Arshkosha.
The Goetic, yeah, which is linked to Solomon, right? The Goetic magic.
72 virgins, 72 names of God, 70.
Yeah.
So do any of you know where this Haktua viral chick came from?
All I know is that she was part of this street interview in Austin, because a lot of this like new school viral like people on the man on the street stuff, it's kind of all happening in Austin, like in the last couple 5-6 years, since since the pandemic, everybody's moved to Austin because it's the cool new hip city to hang out in. And apparently she's an Austin local. And now apparently her life is ruined. So that's all I know.
It's the one thing that's unified the country.
You know, I'm voting for her for president. I think that she has the right agenda on how to fix this country.
Just hot two on that thing.
That's what Americans like, is sex and violence.
Yeah. So it was playing into what DoeNut was talking about, like that subconscious mind. It's talking to that. And I mean, what a better way to appeal than to, like I said, sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
And rock and roll means sexual and like means sex.
Really?
Yes.
There you go.
That's the original saying. Rock and roll.
Yeah, I think that mimetic magic is powerful. I think it works. And I think this is just another one of those, another example where she became a meme. She started spreading and culture forms around that. And it's got its repercussions. They sacrificed her, essentially. She was the sacrifice because now her life is ruined. She got fired from her job, all this other stuff. It's like you have so much attention, but what for? Because it's, you know, where attention goes, energy flows, and it's not always good energy.
No.
And maybe not the kind of energy the kind of attention you want to get, because if you're talking about that sort of stuff, you're probably not going to attract the right crowd that's going to want to follow you. It's like, wow, what a philosopher, Hucktua on that thing. Yeah. Well, I can learn so much from this person. It's like, no, you probably are attracting another set of eyes on you. You know, you're
if she made an only like a Hucktua only fan, she'd become a millionaire overnight.
Overnight. But who would subscribe to that? Because, you know, in my opinion, I mean,
society would. Society would.
Listen, there's some sick ass people out there that buys women's farts in a jar.
There's dudes jerking dolphins off as we speak. There's a dude gripping a dolphin dick right now, just like da 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 da. Hucktua right on the dolphin. And then the dolphin is gonna climax, and it's gonna fade into the white light, and he's gonna step outside of reality and go, "Yo, Juan was right." That's the answer. Jerk a dolphin off.
Well, and also
question, hypothetical, and I'm sure it's just a little too dangerous to do. Instead of a dolphin, what if they jerk off a orca whale? One would think it's a bigger thing, bigger brain.
Yes.
LSD, the whole nine. They climax. Do we turn into a black hole? Does life come to an end? What happens? Because, you know, dolphins are not as big as an orca, but you have to also imagine they're smart as them, if not smarter, because
I guess they're a branch in reality in the multiverse. Like, does a multiverse break down into itself?
Or does everything get reset back where, you know,
that's
Howard is no longer a physicist?
That's how you get Mandela effect. Every Mandela effect was a time that somebody jerked off a different dolphin or a different. I forgot what's the name of the family that they call it. The whale family. It's got a certain species name, but yeah, orcas do have a magnificent hog. I'm seeing it here. It would make a crazy homunculus. But listen, dude, I think that reality, that the truth is stranger than fiction, and who knows? Well, because no one's ever done it. So how would you know what would happen? And there's something here
that we know of.
This is how this whole conversation came to be, because I've said that vowels hold reality together, and DoeNut knows what I'm talking about. And there's a reason why the Gnostics had the book of A-O-U. And when you think about that, there's certain cultures that don't use vowels when they're speaking of the name of God. And I go, wait a minute, what if and I think this is what these sex magicians were tapping into, where it's the power of the orgasm, where it's like, you know, like however it is that you climax, that vocalization the Gnostics were using in rituals. They were using that like using this to either enter altered states of consciousness. And this is, you can all people.
And when you say the word God, it's the same vibration as a sob.
And what do you say when you're crying? Oh God, like that,
or when you're crying, you say God. And sometimes people say God and they're crying and they start crying because it's like the same vibration, the sound. So yeah, that's wild.
So I think, so mix that with a dolphin and you boom. And there's I'm gonna figure this out, guys. That's all I'm gonna say. When
If
there
you do,
will
you'll
be
the
signs.
first person
Yeah, you're
to,
onto something.
There
you'll
will
the
be
first person
signs.
to do it. You'll be the first person to travel interdimensionally.
Florida
through.
man arrested for trying to jerk off the orcas at Disney at
I was just
SeaWorld.
trying to get the
This evening on the
valve out
6
of the
o'clock
dolphin.
news, a Puerto Rican man from St. Cloud
I was trying to open up the portals. They're coming through the portals. Like, man, that guy is crazy.
got caught jerking off on 2 dolphins at the same time. What?
You got to stop letting these liberals in.
Sounds like his next comic book, guys.
Yo, hold on. There's an article. How does SeaWorld masturbate their stud killer whales?
What?
Bro.
What?
Yo, hold up.
What?
Rocker
What are we
Tommy Lee
talking about?
says cow vaginas, and he is almost. This is 2010.
What?
All they need is some LSD. That's it.
I'm done, guys. Listen, we're kidding about this. SeaWorld is out here doing the dolphin sex magic, whale sex magic.
People out here spin on that thing.
Bro, in 2010, they were.
I don't know if it's
jerking those
true.
orcas off.
I don't know if it's true, but apparently, after their whole
Shit.
the whole lady dying like a decade ago, the attendance to SeaWorld in Orlando is like way down, but somehow they're still making record profits. So there must be some sort of magic happening.
Bro. The secret is in the whales, guys.
Unpopular truth. I'm sorry you just got here to this crazy ass conversation, but yeah, we're talking about whales and dolphins.
Why do they call it Free Willy?
Free Willy, bro. Willy's busting nuts at SeaWorld. That's why they like it there, bro.
Oh God,
dude, this is crazy, guys. This is wild. They are artificial.
Willy, isn't Willy slang for Wayne?
Look at this. The male position up and adjacent to the edge is trained to present his penis.
Oh my God.
And they were using cow vagina, and the cow is what you use to create the homunculus. All right, I'm done.
Dun. Did Danny making a joke just discover a whole new reality of magic that's happening out in the world?
I think so.
Oh Lord.
Yo.
With that said,
this is crazy. All right.
It's wild.
What do you got down the pipeline, bro? Where can the people find you so they can follow all your work, bro?
I'm going to be focusing my research on the dolphin orgasm from here on out. So you can find me at tjojp.com and keep up with my research there, because I'm going to crack this code, everybody.
I bet you it's mixed in with the cat purr.
It's somewhere, bro. All right. But yeah, this is what a meme becomes reality. We just witnessed it real time. We were making fun of something. Boom, turns out to be true. So the truth is bigger than fiction, everybody.
Jose, I think my human design is wrong. I think I'm a manifester, bro. I think I manifested that into reality.
That's hilarious, dude.
Jesus.
I know what I'm going to be researching now.
All right, guys, let's reconvene in 6 months. Let's do another live and see if all this is true.
DoeNut, where can the people find you, and what do you got down the pipeline?
I'm going to look into this topic. I think it's massively important, and I think there's some truth to it. I think it's can go mixed into the vibrational sounds and the frequencies of the IAO. I think there's something to it. I bet you a chicken is involved with it. Like, why is it called choking the chicken? Like, I bet you there's a lot to it, because that's Abraxas is that chicken. Like, it sounds weird, but the whole dolphin thing was because I wanted to prove that people steal my information. So it was a joke at first. And then the more I looked into it, the more I'm like, damn, this is the leader of MK Ultra, and there's all this truth to it. So like these funny concepts turn out to be true. I mean, that first they ignore you, then they laugh at you. You know what I mean? So it's
and they join you.
I'm gonna just be I'm gonna look into the debate, put out a funny video on that. Working on just a bunch of stuff, learning about the Knights of Malta. I'm just always researching.
That's a great tactic, DoeNut. So that you're gonna hear crazier ideas from me too, to plant them to see who runs with them.
Yes.
And you already know, boom, they're trying to That's a great idea, bro. So if you hear anybody else talking about jerking dolphins off, you know where you heard it first.
Boom.
I mean, orcas,
Right
sir. Orcas. Get it right. It's orcas.
There's
We're-
different
and
layers to the
orcas.
reality. Yeah.
And
And
orcas.
orcas.
and
And
All right,
beluga.
y'all. Well, we're gonna head out of here. We really appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials. Cultura Truth Project on YouTube and on Rumble. Make sure you follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, Gonzalez Media TV. Subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review on all of our major platforms. And if you want to get more of this crazy stuff, but behind the scenes, no censorship, join the Supporters Club, Spreaker, $3 a month, link in the description. And we got all the links to DoeNut and Juan in the description as well. As always, we love you guys. Thank you so much for joining the live stream today, and we'll check you guys out in the next episode.
Good night, everybody.